Hello children, you are all welcome. Today in this video I will teach you about social studies for class 5 chapter 11, and the name of the chapter is Living Longer and Healthier Lives. So as you can see here, the topic living longer and healthier life. By this you can understand that what is the importance of healthy life. In our day-to-day life we need to be healthy. If you want to lead a happy life, we need to live a healthy life. So to live a long and a healthy life, we need many different things. First, we need a clean environment. Means wherever you are staying or wherever your house is situated, that place, it should be very much neat and clean. If it is not clean, if it is dirty, then it will affect in your health. You will survive from several kinds of disease. You will suffer from sickness because the environment will be polluted. So, in order to lead a healthy life, your surrounding must be clean. And there are some other ways also, that is, we need healthy, nutritious food. And we should also get some medical care if you are ill. If you are ill, you are feeling some sickness or you are suffering from fever, it is needed that you should go to the doctor, and whatever the doctor prescribes you, whatever medicine is given to you, you must take care in order to make your body fit and strong. Now, a long time back, humans did not understand disease and did not know how to cure them. They thought that disease is a curse of God. Disease were considered to be a curse of God. But today, due to the tremendous progress made by the medical science, we understand why disease occur. Now, why disease occur? Diseases occur, as I told you earlier, if you live in unhealthy environment, dirty environment, you will suffer from some kind of sickness. So, first of all, your environment should be neat and clean, and you should take nutritious food in order to keep your body fit and strong. Now, several methods of diagnosis disease have been developed. Thousands of medicines are now available. New medical facilities are also available, and more are being developed to treat different kinds of disease. Now, let's see about kinds of disease. Disease falls into two major divisions: infectious disease and non-infectious disease. Now, what is infectious disease? Let's see about that. Infectious disease spread by contact with an ill person. Example, chickenpox. Here you can see the picture. By seeing the picture, you can identify what kind of disease is this. Measles. This is another picture. Example of infectious disease. Some more examples are there. Sore throat, influenza, mumps, and fever. So, these diseases are caused by bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites, and insect bites. And this disease also caused if we have some contact with an ill person. Now let's move to non-infectious disease. Non-infectious disease are not caused by bacteria, viruses, etc. They are caused by breakdown of tissues, birth defects, poor diet, environmental causes, and occupational dangers. So, this birth defects, can give you an example. Birth defects: if a child is unborn, the child is in the mother's womb, if the child doesn't get a nutritious food, whatever the mother eats, then obviously the child will be unhealthy. The child will born unhealthy. So when the child is in mother's womb, mother should take proper care, proper medical facilities, proper nutritious food, healthy food, and she should be happy. So this is one cause. Next is poor diet. Same thing, we should take good and healthy food. Environmental causes, we should live in a clean and a healthy environment. Okay, so next we will see, as I told you, several methods of diagnosis disease have been developed and thousands of medicines are now available. Along with the medicines, in order to treat the patient, some instrument and machines are also there. So what are those machines? We will see that. First, it is clinical thermometer. Now what is clinical thermometer? In the past, fever was judged by placing back of the hands on the forehead. But now, one new machine it has been invented, and that is clinical thermometer. It is an instrument used to check the body temperature. This instrument is put in the mouth or the armpit of the patients for a few minutes or two. So this is how it is used. The expanding mercury inside it rises to show the exact body temperature of the patient. And before using that, it has to be jerked hard so that the mercury may come down to its original lowest position. So this is how clinical thermometer is used to check fever. Next, stethoscope. This delicate instrument was developed in order to hear the sound of a patient's heart, lungs, intestine, veins, and arteries. You can see here picture. It has a body contact piece which is placed against the body. Two earpieces are linked to this piece through rubber tubing. The doctor places them in his ear to hear the sound. This instrument was invented by a French doctor, and his name is René Laennec, and he has invented in the year 1816. Now how he got the idea? He got the idea when he saw two children whispering and hearing through a hollow log. So in this way he got the idea to invent a stethoscope. Next is syringe. Syringe is very common, you all know. I'll show you the picture also. So it is a pump-like instrument fitted with a needle and used by the doctor to inject liquid medicines into the body. This is the picture. It is very common, you all know that. Next is microscope. Now what is microscope? So microscope is an instrument used to see extremely small object in a large size. Not only large size but enlarged size. Whatever, suppose for one example I can give you, in the water, by our eyes, with the help of our eyes, when we see the water, we can see very neat and clean. But with the help of this microscope, if you will see, we can see some little tiny germs. We can see there. So this microscope, it helps us to see an object, small object in an enlarged size. So this is the picture of microscope. It has three major parts, that is foot, tube and body. The foot is the base on which the instrument stands. The tube contains all the lenses, while the body holds the tube and has a mirror to reflect light on the object to be seen. This microscope was invented by a Dutch optician named Zacharias Janssen, and it was invented in the year 1590. This instrument is used for testing urine, stools, sputum and blood of patients. All the germs present in all these things can be seen very clearly. Next we can see here sphygmomanometer. So sphygmomanometer is an instrument used to measure a blood pressure. I'll show you the picture here. So this is the picture. This is an instrument used to check the blood pressure of a particular person. Blood pressure is the pressure that blood exerts against the wall of arteries. This instrument has three parts. That is cuff, which is a wide rubber band that can be filled with air. Next point, a rubber bulb used to pump air into the cuff. And a glass gauge having a column of mercury. So how this sphygmomanometer is used? So in order to use the sphygmomanometer, the cuff is wrapped round the patient's arm. As you can see in the picture, a stethoscope is placed over the arteries of these arms just below the cuff to hear the pulsation of the blood in the arteries. Air is then pumped into the cuff so that it may press down on the arteries and stop the flow of blood. As a result, the sound stops. Now, some air is slowly let out of the cuff so that blood flows may restart. The pressure of blood is at this point is its highest point. It can be read on the gauge. Some more air is released and the sound gets muffled. The blood pressure at this point is at its lowest point. So the blood pressure is described in two figures, that is 120 by 80 degree. The highest first and the lowest next. This is how sphygmomanometer is used. Next is fluoroscope. So fluoroscope is an instrument that enables doctor to watch the internal organ of the body while they are functioning. So how it is used? See, this is the image. The patient lies on a table under which an X-ray tube has been placed. The X-ray passes through the body. A large device named image intensifier converts this X-ray into an image that is recorded by a TV camera. So it can be viewed on a TV monitor. This instrument was developed by Thomas A. Edison in the year 1896, and it helps the doctor to see defects in functioning of body organ and to remove foreign object from lungs, stomach, etc. Next topic is surgery and anesthesia. So what is surgery? Surgery means operating a person's body, operate on the organ. Okay, anesthesia is a medicine, or it is some kind of medicine used to make the patients unconscious. Okay, we will see that surgery. So sometimes to treat a defective organ in the body, it becomes necessary to cut open the body and operate on the organ. This is known as surgery. So what it can be done through surgery? It is possible to repair the organ to cure the disease. And in some cases, it is also possible to replace the organ with a healthy one. Now, in ancient times, it was very much painful. It was very much difficult for a particular patient to have a surgery. But now doctors make the patient unconscious before operating, and in order to make unconscious, they use anesthesia. Doctors give the patient anesthesia to make them unconscious. So what is that? Chloroform. Chloroform was one of the first drugs to be used as anesthesia. The first operation using chloroform as an anesthesia was performed on 18th November 1847. Next is antibiotics. So here you can see many colorful medicines. Okay, so we will see here antibiotics. What is that? Bacteria is a type of germs which spread several diseases such as tuberculosis, cholera, and typhoid. And in 1928, Alexander Fleming discovered a drug called penicillin, which prevent the growth of bacteria. He used the drug to cure many types of bacterial infections. Later, many other such drugs were discovered. They are called antibiotics. The discovery of antibiotics was an important milestone in the development of medicines. So we have seen here antibiotics. Now we will see vaccination. What is that? Medicines such as antibiotics cures disease. But what is the work of vaccination? Vaccination prevents disease from occurring. If a person is vaccinated against a disease, his body develops the ability to fight the germs that cause the disease. Vaccines which act against several diseases such as tuberculosis, cholera, tetanus, etc. are available today. So, in order to treat these, vaccination is already available in this generation. The first vaccine to be discovered was against the dreaded disease, that is smallpox. This disease was major cause of death. That was in 18th century. An English doctor, Edward Jenner, observed that people who had a mild disease called cowpox did not suffer from smallpox. So he got an idea and he injected cowpox germs into the body of a young boy, that is in 1796. And after a few weeks later, he injected that particular boy with a smallpox germs. And what he discovered? He discovered that he found out that the boy did not get smallpox. So in this way, he successfully tried this method of preventing smallpox on the other people also. So Edward Jenner had discovered a vaccine for smallpox. Next we will see pasteurization. Pasteurization, what is it? So here famous name come Louis Pasteur. He is a Frenchman who studied the causes of disease and how it may kill or how it can be killed. So he showed that many diseases are caused by a tiny germs which we cannot see from our eye. When we use microscope, then only we can see that. So these germs also carry disease from one person to another. He discovered that heat kills germs. We all know that when we boil a milk or water, when we heat properly, then a germs can be killed. So he discovered that milk or water can be boiled to kill germs and prevent disease. The process of killing germs by boiling followed by rapid cooling, especially in milk, is called pasteurization. So next is antiseptics. Joseph Lister was a surgeon about 150 years ago. At that time, surgery was very much new. Many patients died after operations due to infections of wounds. Lister tried several methods of controlling the infections without success. He tried many methods, but he was not successful. But at last, when he came to know about Pasteur's idea about killing the germs by boiling it, excess heat, then he got some idea. He realized that germs cause the infections in the wounds and started looking for the method to kill the germs in another way for the human beings, in the body of human beings after operating. So he tried a chemical called carbolic acid. What he had done, he sprayed carbolic acid in the air. He washed his hand, instrument also, and finally the patient's skin with it before performing an operation. So before operating a person, he had cleaned everything, and finally he found that deaths due to infection came down dramatically. So Joseph Lister had discovered the first antiseptics, that is a chemical that kills germs called carbolic acid. Now last, we will see how we have to keep ourselves healthy, keeping healthy. So we all, by looking this, we all came to know that germs causes several diseases. So many diseases are also caused if we do not eat a proper diet. We can remain healthy. How we can remain healthy? We can remain healthy by following some simple rules. So first is, you see, eat good nutritious food. So if we eat good nutritious and healthy food, our body will remain healthy, which gives the body all the nutrients it needs. Next is, keep yourself and your surroundings clean. By keeping yourself and your surrounding clean, prevents the breeding and spreading of germs. It keeps your body and everything, your neighbors and your surrounding clean. Keep your body clean by having bath. How you will keep your body clean? By having bath with soap and water. That is every day. Wash your hands with soap and water before and after eating. Garbage disposable should be there. All the wasted things you have to throw in the dustbin. Now next, exercise regularly. Exercising regularly gives us strength. It becomes more capable of fighting disease. Morning walk and evening walk. It gives a fit and strong and healthy body. Again, some more exercises are also there that can be done. When you feel unwell, go to a doctor. If you are not feeling well, if you are feeling weakness, if you are feeling lazy, or if you are feeling unwell, then you need to go to the doctor. So how he will work? The doctor will find out what disease you are suffering from. How he will find out? By using some of the methods of testing. The doctor, after testing, he will give you some medicines or he will give you some advice which you have to follow. If you follow that, you will lead a good and healthy and strong body and happy life. So, today we had learned about, or I have told you about how you can live a healthy and a strong and a happy life. So, in the next class, the next video, I will tell you about the new chapter. Okay, thank you.